Hey there, and welcome back to Mass Effect 3. My name is Pete, and today we complete another episode of our Insanity walkthrough. It has been a while since the last one, in which we completed our visit to the Citadel as well as a lengthy tour through the Normandy, and so today I think it's time for some action. For that reason, we will now embark on not one but two missions involving Cerberus, and perhaps a few other interesting characters as well. The first one will actually be a rather short and fast-paced mission, and it takes us to the Horsehead Nebula, where we will now attempt to clear out a Cerberus fighter base. Now, this is another N7 mission, the fourth one of this playthrough, and it takes place on Noveria, a planet that we know all too well from our Mass Effect 1 series, which you can find linked on screen right now, just in case you need a refresher. Since then, Noveria hasn't changed much, and we are still looking at a frozen, inhospitable place. However, since a lot of cutting-edge technology has been developed here, the war has of course brought some attention to the planet and its research facilities. As a fighter base, our target is perhaps a bit more primitive, but it still demands a good squad, and today we are finally bringing Kaidan back into the field. We have to switch through his outfits a bit though, because we are looking for something that boosts his power recharge speed, as Kaidan is not really a frontline soldier and more of a utility caster, if you will. Speaking of which, Liara will accompany us as well for some crowd control, and now let's talk weapons, and we are going to have some fun today. For this mission, we are going in with just a pistol, the M358 Talon that we picked up on the Citadel, and this thing packs quite a punch, even more now after we have equipped it with a high-caliber barrel and a magazine upgrade. Liara, meanwhile, keeps the Acolyte and the Bloodpack Punisher as her loadout, while Kaidan is switched over to the M5 Phalanx for some medium-range sniping shots, but mostly for the weapon attachment that boosts power damage. That attachment also does not exist for assault rifles, so Kaidan will not be using one for now, meaning we can leave him with the default Avenger and move on to powers. With Shepard, we'll keep saving points for that eventual bonus power, but with Kaidan we have 32 points to spend, the majority of which goes into Alliance Officer. The first 3 ranks give him bonuses to health, shields and power damage, and at rank 4 we will increase his defenses a bit more, instead of going with the more offensive-minded weapon damage bonus. Again, Kaidan will never be among our strongest shooters, so I think it's best to specialize elsewhere. At rank 5 then, we need to decide between a bonus to biotic powers and tech powers, and honestly I prefer Kaidan to be more of a tech guy, also because he has 2 tech powers that actually do damage, compared to only 1 biotic power. Finally then, we'll go with even more bonuses to tech and biotic powers at rank 6, foregoing an upgrade to shield recharge speed. That leaves us with 12 points, 6 of which we can now spend on unlocking Chain Overload. The 6th and final rank of overloads, Kaidan's go to tech power for now. That might change in the future though, as we will now put the rest into Cryoblast, an ability that freezes unprotected enemies, slows down those that are still protected, and even weakens armor, so all in all pretty useful in many different cases, and the first 3 ranks here give us a nice boost to the ability's duration and recharge speed. Finally then, we have Liara with 10 points to spend on the next 2 ranks of Warp, and we'll use these to first increase the power of biotic combo detonations with Warp, and then we'll make targets affected by Warp even weaker to our attacks. And that's it, a lot of prep work that we will thankfully not have to repeat for the second mission, but for now let's jump into this one.
Commander, the enemy has a strategic advantage in this sector thanks to the fighter squadron facility you're about to attack. We want to seize it, but their air defenses are too strong for a frontal assault. Losses would be too cost-prohibitive.
How do you want me to handle this?
Go in the back, bring down their defenses so we can send in the troops. Good luck, Commander.
I have visual contact. There's a small platform above the main landing pad. I can drop you there, but it's gotta be now.
Let's do it.
Commander, you'll have to find the command center to take down their defenses.
Keep an eye out for the command center.
Trouble coming!
Right away!
Alright, the mission begins and we are dropped right into the middle of combat, as the landing pad here is already swarming with Cerberus troops. Most of them are just regular troopers, but there are a few Centurions among them, so it's a good thing that we brought Kaidan and his overload along. You can also see that our tiny pistol is capable of dishing out some serious punishment. The Talon is basically a mini shotgun that doesn't really care too much about precise aiming. One way or another, a shot from this pistol will hit, and even on Insanity difficulty, one shot is often also all that it takes to eliminate an unprotected enemy. These combat characteristics make the gun most useful in close-range encounters, so it requires us to stay on the move and play a bit more aggressively than usual. Of course, we are supplementing that firepower with a fair share of singularities and overloads, and that leads to the quick decimation of the enemy forces.
I'm on it.
At least of the first group, that is, as we have more hostiles waiting on the inside. As with all N7 missions, this is a map that was also present in the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, which means that there are several ways to get into the building, and we are taking the path that conveniently leads us past most of the loot in the area. Some spare parts, a pistol upgrade, a med station, and a log entry talking about the base personnel's conversion, all of that wants to be grabbed before we engage the next group of enemies. You can perhaps also see that there is an exit to the left of where they're hiding, so we could have come from there as well, possibly with a slightly broader field of view, but from this angle we at least have some decent cover, and again it doesn't take long until they are defeated.
So far, so good, Shepard.
Looks like we found the control center.
And not only that, we can also grab some heating unit stabilizers over here that might come in handy.
Advanced heating unit stabilizers? I guess it's cold enough here.
And with that we are ready, let us now deactivate the security console over here.
Damn it. This'll take a while.
Commander, you've got enemies inbound and we can't wait. Someone's got to get those defenses down ASAP.
We need to make a choice here, who stays behind and who comes with us, and with Kaidan being our tech specialist and Liara having a very useful crowd control power, this is an easy decision.
Kate, get in there.
You got it, Shepard.
Be ready, Commander. You're gonna get swarmed. Commander, I've been flushed from cover. Retreating to minimum safe distance.
No problem, Cortez. Get out of there.
We'll wait for your all clear, then relay to the strike force.
Warning, warning. Security breach. Anything you do lock down fails in.
Outside communications been cut off, Shepard.
Bring down their defenses. We'll worry about that later.
Now at this point we simply need to hold our position until Kaidan has deactivated the console, and no, that task does of course not need to fall to someone with tech abilities. Liara would be able to handle it just as well as any other squad member, but for a fight like this she is a bit more useful in my opinion, as she can simply keep enemies on one side occupied with Singularity while we focus our attention elsewhere.
System deactivation prioritized. Awaiting shutdown command.
Shepard, need you to sync the shutdown from the command console.
Defense system deactivated. General Order 7/7 triggered. Establish contingency defenses.
Manual defense is being established in the landing pad, Shepard.
And that's where we need to go.
Alright, the defense system has been disabled, now it's only a matter of getting out of here. As you can see, that is a little bit more difficult than just running back to the shuttle though, as Cerberus is throwing one last big wave of enemies at us. Thankfully, however, I have found that they are normally not using their numbers and the layout of the map to their full advantage, as it would absolutely be possible for them to take different paths and flank us. Instead, they are all piling up in front of us, which doesn't necessarily make the fight that much easier, but at least we are pretty much guaranteed that our abilities always find a target. This time we also have some engineers among the enemies, and in my experience it is actually pretty hard to avoid that one of them sets up a turret on higher ground. Usually though, its line of fire can be moved around so that it doesn't present too much of a threat. We get lucky this time though, and so we're now almost ready to be picked up.
Cortez here. We're trying to break through the interference.
Cortez, I read you. Come in.
There you are, Commander. Had to get through the interference. Area clear. Signaling the strike force. Wait. Scan's picking up something coming your way.
Proximity alert. Deploying armed response.
Shepard, look out!
Give it everything you've got.
Well, looks like we have one final enemy to defeat, and by now you know how this goes. This mech here would actually be a great target for the Hijacker achievement, for which we need to destroy its glass window and kill the pilot inside, but unfortunately that tends to only work if there are other enemies still present on the map. In this case, the mech is the only one left, so it will explode instead of simply deactivating, and to achieve that, there are much faster ways than aiming specifically at the person inside.
Anyone wounded?
Only minor injuries.
Scans clear, Commander. Strike inbound and will soon control the station.
Copy that, Lieutenant.
Coming in to pick you up.
This was a major victory, Commander, a crippling blow to Cerberus operations in this sector. Now all we have to do is maintain control of the facility.
Cerberus won't make that easy.
And we won't make it easy on them. Thanks to you, we can use their own defenses against them. Tell your team they did good, Commander. You should be proud.
Thank you, sir.
That's all. Hack it out.
Alright, and there we are, roughly 10 minutes into the episode, and the first mission is already behind us. Next to the loot we acquired, we also earned 10,000 credits for completion, and as I said, we are not done yet, so let's head back to the CIC immediately.
So, Sarah, about your buddy, the one who joined Cerberus. You heard from him?
No, I cut ties. Reported him for whatever good that did. No way I want that crap on my record.
Commander, Dr. Chakwas sent word that she'd like to speak with you down in the medbay.
And this will only take a moment, so I think we can squeeze in a brief chat with the doctor before we proceed with mission number 2.
Shepard, remember our agreement? We'd open a bottle of cerise-ice brandy every year, and it's my turn to buy.
But it hasn't been a year yet.
Yes, well, something tells me we won't have the chance a few months from now, so indulge my impatience.
No morality points here, but unfortunately this will be the only time in the game that she brings this up, so if we want to have that drink, we need to have it now.
You grab the glasses. I'll open the bottle.
And Jeff says, Jacqueline Subject Zero is sorry, but it's ma'am to me. I'd like to keep my Admiral Winky. Oh, Shepard, you know, I just realized. You've never called me by my first name.
Well, neither of you.
And I never will. You are Commander Shepard, hero of the Citadel, conqueror of the Collectors, savior of the galaxy. Using your first name just disrespects everyone you're fighting for, alive or gone.
That makes no sense.
Consider it a lady's prerogative, then. Come, let's have a toast.
And again, this decision is purely for flavor, but since she did more or less explicitly offer us the first name basis, we might as well go with that.
To a woman I'm proud to call my friend. I'm lucky to have you with me, Karen.
And to you, dear friend. It is my great honor to share this journey with you. Commander Shepard. And good fortune to us all. I've learned my lesson this time. Even a Krogan couldn't match you drink for drink.
Moving on, we can now listen to a brief chat between Kaidan and Liara before we quickly head down to the shuttle bay, and then it's time for the next mission in just about 2 minutes or so.
I find using my biotics to toss someone across the room is a decent attention grabber.
Yes, but it's also a good way to draw enemy fire.
Well, you can handle yourself in a fight now, Liara. I mean, not that your biotics weren't impressive the first time we met.
I have had my fair share of opportunities to use them these past few years.
Well, I'm glad you got through in one piece. Sounds like you have a few stories to tell.
Once again, Liara herself has nothing to say to us at this point, so like I said, we can now take the elevator down to the shuttle bay for an interesting conversation between Cortez and James.
I've always loved the M35 Mako. It's got heart, you know?
Oh, come on. The M44 Hammerhead is vastly superior.
Come on, that thing's made of tissue paper. At least the Mako can take a few hits.
I'd hope so. That thing handles like a drunk rhino. No agility whatsoever.
More like a bull that can climb and climb for days.
It only climbs because of its stupid, vertically aligned Mass Effect fields. Jump or stick. No speed. No lateral movement.
Hey, with a cannon like that, who needs to move?
If you want that, why don't you just stick with the old M29 Grizzly?
Hey, I love that tank.
You would be one to love grizzly bears, Mr. Vega.
What? What's so funny?
You know, next time we're at the Citadel, I think I might hit a nightclub. You should join me. That last mission on Noveria shows why I love the Kodiak.
All you did was drop them off and bugger out. How are you proud of that?
I seem to remember being shot at the whole time, and everyone coming back in one piece, Mr. Vega.
Yeah, next time park it and come join the party, Esteban.
And I have to say, I really like that Cortez plays a slightly more prominent role during these small N7 missions, and that he always has a few lines of dialogue for us after we complete one. Now, back up to the CIC, and a mute trainer just told us that we have messages to look at. However, their content is mostly the same for all 4 of them. Everyone here wants to meet us on the Citadel, from Javik to Liara to Garrus, and even Miranda, who we met just briefly a few episodes ago. So next time we travel there, we once again have a few items on our to-do list, but for now I think it's time for that next mission. For this one, we need to travel all the way over to the Minos Wasteland, where we are hoping to meet some ex-Cerberus scientists. We have already fully surveyed both systems in this cluster, so we can head straight for the mission site, which is located in the Array system, more specifically on the planet Galix. Just as a quick reminder, this mission was actually given to us by Specialist Trainer, who mentioned that the scientists who defected from Cerberus are supposedly among the Illusive Man's top branch, so recruiting them to our cause might strike a serious blow to Cerberus's efforts. Now, squad and loadout will mostly remain the same for this mission, although we will switch Shepard from the shotgun-like Talon to something with a bit more range in the Chrysae sniper rifle. This is actually one of my least favorite weapons in the game, but this mission presents a nice opportunity to show it off at least briefly, after slightly boosting its damage and ammo capacity.
What's the word? Do we know how long these scientists have been holed up out here?
Our intel is minimal.
Sir, I'm picking up chatter from a Cerberus squad engaging the supply depot.
Engaging the scientists?
And if I'm reading it right, sounds like more troops are on the way.
Okay, set us down, then get out of here. I need these scientists alive.
You can see why Cerberus abandoned this place. It's freezing.
All right, just keep moving. What did these people do to bring this down on their heads?
We can't hold them much longer.
So the big reveal has already happened. We are indeed about to meet Jacob again, but for now we have to fight our way through the Cerberus attackers. Our sniper rifle is doing a serviceable job for now, and you may have noticed that its projectiles are actually exploding upon impact. This is pretty useful, as the explosion deals damage to all targets in the vicinity. However, the projectiles also take a good moment to actually reach the destination. In that sense, the Chrysae is in some ways more similar to a grenade launcher than to a highly accurate sniper rifle. In any case, I am personally not a huge fan of it, which is why this fight right here will likely remain the only one where we bring it along. I have found that squad members tend to be a bit more reliable with it, but I prefer something that hits instantly for my long-range encounters.
All clear. I'll check for survivors.
And it sounds like Jacob survived, unlike most of his companions, so let's see how he's doing.
Who's there?
Jacob. How bad?
I'll live. I think.
This is Bryn. If you can hear me, come in. Is there anyone there?
This is Commander Shepard of the Alliance. The enemy is clear for now. Open the door.
Is Jacob there?
It's okay, Bryn.
Jacob! Oh my god!
I'm all right. The others didn't make it.
What are you doing here?
I'm supposed to be protecting these people from the elusive man and his attack dogs.
Are they gone?
For now. But they'll be back. Sure you're okay?
Yeah, I'll walk it off. Save my life one more time and I'll start owing you.
This one's on the house.
Hey, yo. Good to see you too.
Thanks, and you as well.
Shepard, this is Dr. Bryn Cole. She's in charge here.
Tell me what's going on. Intel says you're Cerberus.
We're all ex-Cerberus. Scientists, mostly.
Civilians?
Call us refugees. If we hadn't run, we'd be dead.
Why does the elusive man want to kill you?
Our stories are different, but the themes are the same. We were each using information from the Collector base to work on the different components of a larger tech. After someone completed their component, they disappeared. No bodies, just gone. As we progressed, we started feeling like we were signing each other's death warrants.
And yes, both options here make some sense, but let's grab 2 Paragon points and compliment the scientist's smart decision to abandon Cerberus.
The elusive man doesn't mess around. If he can't control it, he'll destroy it.
The brain trust here has to be a significant loss for him.
You had to know they were going to find you.
It's a pretty smart bunch. We covered our bases.
But the elusive man is one tenacious bastard.
Time to evacuate.
Agreed. Just need to get the AA guns on the roof back online. Cerberus is jamming them somehow. With those guns down, Cerberus will just blow our escape shuttles out of the sky.
Might be the network link.
I'll check and meet you upstairs.
Jacob, you should get that wound looked at.
I'm good. I mean, I will.
Commander, I should see to my people. Join me upstairs when you can.
You know this Jacob guy? Is he another ex-Cerberus?
He worked with me to stop the Collectors.
Dr. Brown, I'm so sorry.
Jamie, I didn't want to come here with these people. It was his idea. What am I gonna do without him?
Finish the work you started.
Our work? Are you crazy? We're all gonna die here.
Your partner was brave. He wouldn't want you to crumble like this.
He's right.
We're getting out of here alive. I promise.
Thank you.
And you can perhaps already see why bringing Kaidan along on this mission is an interesting choice, as he currently still has a very clearly defined view of anyone with ties to Cerberus.
Commander Shepard, Dr. Gavin Archer, we met on Project Overlord.
That's one way of putting it.
Yes, well, after you took my brother to Grissom Academy, I tried putting all that behind me. I don't suppose you have any news from there. I've heard rumors the Academy is in trouble.
And yes, we know the Doctor from our experience with Project Overlord, in which he played an integral role, and certainly not as the brave hero. Still, his brother is indeed safe, and despite his past actions, I think we should let him know.
I was at Grissom Academy. Cerberus tried abducting the students, but David's okay.
Oh, thank God. Commander, you have no idea what that means.
It's a little late to start worrying about his safety now.
I never stopped. I know you think I'm a monster, and you're right. Not a day goes by where my dreams aren't haunted by what I did to David. All I can do now is hope that one day he forgives me.
We can also ask 2 questions here and learn a bit more about Project Overlord, as well as Gavin's motivations for leaving Cerberus behind.
What are you doing here?
I strayed too far from the path. This was my only refuge. As a boy, I wanted to be a scientist remembered for doing right by the world, curing a disease or discovering a new element, not a monster who tortured his own brother.
What did you say to the elusive man?
I told him if his intention was to work with the devil, he only had to look in the mirror. wanted out of his nightmare.
He just let you go?
If it had been that easy, I wouldn't be hiding here. Every Cerberus soldier in the galaxy has orders to shoot me on sight.
What happened to Project Overlord?
After your intervention, the Elusive Man insisted I find another test subject. Someone who shared my brother David's abilities. I couldn't bear the thought of reliving the nightmare, so I destroyed all of my research. Overlord is no more.
And it was a cruel project indeed, so at least this is good news. And we are done here for now, so let's keep moving.
I have to go. And I'm not even gonna pretend it was good to see you again.
I understand. But Commander, thank you for saving David. Both times.
Moving on, we can now grab some credits from the datapad over here and also read a message on the other one, likely dating back to a time before the scientists defected, as we can read about one man realizing what his colleagues were working on, and considering that he was working for Cerberus, that likely wasn't anything good.
Low power. Please wait. Reset complete. Access enabled.
Now, hiding behind the door here is not only an assault rifle magazine upgrade, but also a weapon bench, which we can now use to retire the sniper rifle again and to switch to something different. And let's give the M9 Tempest SMG a test run, a weapon that is nicely suited for a spray and pray approach, although with a scope attached it is actually not that inaccurate.
Get the techs from Stockholm Cell to pack their own crates. I need you up here.
Don't be a jerk. There's only 2 of those guys. It'll just take me a minute.
Following this short conversation, we can now head up the stairs here, grab the contents of a medical station on the wall, and then meet back up with Dr. Cole.
And make sure those samples from Project Mia get out on the second shuttle.
I've already dropped one box. My hands were shaking so hard.
We're going to make it.
What's the status of the guns?
Still waiting. I have my best people on it.
How many scientists are here?
43, plus research assistants.
How did you maintain secrecy with that many?
When you fear for your life, there's a lot you can do.
Bryn, I can't possibly dismantle the genetic amplification components in time.
I'm sorry, Dr. Boehner. It's important work, but right now you need to tend to your family.
Wait, there are families here? Children?
You've gotta be kidding.
So these refugees brought everyone with them?
Yes. We have about 17 kids here. Partners, spouses, parents. I promised these people refuge. A new life free from Cerberus. I just never imagined the Elusive Man would...
That's what evil counts on. That it's hard for good people to imagine. Okay. Everyone left gets out of here alive.
2 more Paragon points can now be obtained by not calling the civilians a mere distraction. Instead, let us point out the gravity of the situation and the responsibility that lasts on our shoulders.
This escape will have to be carefully executed.
I'd hoped. We tried so hard to make sure it wouldn't come to this.
What's the news?
Can't tell. Only know I can't fix it from here. I'm going to the roof. Cerberus landed a shuttle there a couple minutes ago. You in?
Jacob, you're injured. I'll fix the guns.
No way. These are my people. I'm going.
Just because you survived one suicide mission doesn't mean you get 2.
Fine. But I'm gonna talk you through it from here. Cerberus is probably jamming the satellite link. Radio me when you found the controls and I'll give you the override code.
Will do.
Alright, and with Bryn standing right here, we can now have another small conversation with her before we finally talk to Jacob.
Dr. Cole? Got a moment?
Of course.
We can ask her a few questions about her previous work, how she got away, and about her relationship with Jacob, because at least to me it seems like the 2 of them are pretty close.
Don't you think you put these people in serious danger?
They wouldn't have it any other way. Science must never bow to tyranny. We didn't escape just to go into hiding. We wanted to build a new life, where we could live and work on our terms. Love, family, they're all part of that. Even now. Otherwise, what are we fighting for?
What's your relationship with Jacob? We went through a lot together.
An old colleague of his introduced us. Through Jacob's eyes, I started to recognize what the Elusive Man had become. I guess I was so in love with my work that I refused to see the obvious. Its sponsor had become corrupt.
I get that. That's why it's important to have good people around you.
I don't know what we would have done without him.
What kind of work did you do for Cerberus?
Until the elusive man became preoccupied with the Collectors, I worked in physics. It was a researcher's paradise. I had access to cutting-edge tech and all the personnel I needed. The elusive man spares no expense for technical perfection.
That technical perfection's almost killed me a few times.
It also saved your life. Strange to think about, I would imagine.
Maybe.
But then, life is full of uncomfortable ironies. Isn't everyone's?
So what's this work of yours that Cerberus wants so badly?
It's based on tech gathered from the Collectors. In essence, it involves dissecting Reaper-to-Collector communications. Dr. Horace Armstrong and I were working on a practical human application. An implant of sorts. Once he'd completed his component and moved on to less valuable work, he disappeared.
How did you get away?
I was a loyal senior employee. There's a lot of freedom in that. When our fourth colleague disappeared, we organized and were out the door in days.
And until now, Cerberus never suspected you were hiding right under their noses.
We honestly thought we had it all figured out. It's humbling.
Okay, that is all we can get out of her for the time being, so let's leave her to it and move on.
Thanks, Dr. Cole. I'll let you get on with the packing.
Thank you again for everything you're doing for us.
Leave those things. Let's just get the hell out of here.
Calm down. Commander Shepard's here.
So what?
So relax. We've got a little time.
Nice to see that our presence puts some people at ease, although the situation definitely remains tense. After grabbing some more credits here, we can read through one of Bryn's logs, revealing that she found out that many of her colleagues had been killed and showing regret about not leaving earlier. Of course, all of that is easy to see in hindsight, but this mission definitely exposes some of the gray areas that scientists sometimes find themselves in.
Shepard, I'm in here.
And now we can finally talk to Jacob, after grabbing another datapad full of credits, that is.
Hey, you okay? How've you been?
Give us a minute. This is crazy. I didn't think I'd ever see you again.
I know the feeling. So how'd you become a gun for hire?
Long story. It was an opportunity I couldn't resist for people I came to care about.
Now, we don't get any morality points for this conversation, but still, let's not confront him with the question why he isn't fighting against the Reapers instead. I think by now, Cerberus has shown that they are an immediate threat that is worth taking serious as well.
You seem good. You look good.
These are great people, defending their ideals. I like it. I think I found what I'm meant to do.
And we can now ask him a few questions too about how he ended up here, what he learned about Cerberus and about his father, who we met during Jacob's loyalty mission back in Mass Effect 2.
What's the story, Jacob? Why are you working at a place like this?
After we got back, well, things look different when you come back from a suicide mission alive. So I quit Cerberus, I quit everything. And sat by the Mediterranean for a while. That's when I lost track of you.
And what did all that fresh air and meditation teach you?
That what I choose to fight for better mean something to me. That it comes from the heart.
We could sure use you.
It's real tempting, Shepard, but I like where I'm at. I'm important to these people. I want a life. I want a family.
Sure, I get that.
No, Shepard. The Normandy's your real love.
Doesn't mean I don't want to say to hell with it sometimes.
But you won't. You can't.
How long have you known Bryn?
We met through a mutual friend in the Mumbai cell. Guess I've known her for a year. We had a lot in common. Then she came to me about her missing colleagues. Asked for my protection, my help finding a place to run to. How could I say no?
Who is she to you?
We're together.
And you run this enclave with her? You settling down, Jacob?
Yeah, maybe. It's just, if these are our final days, I want to spend them protecting these people. Building a life, whatever's left of it.
Anything on Cerberus I should know about?
The elusive man became obsessed with indoctrination. I know that. You ever wonder how it all went wrong? I mean, was I blind? I remember him being an idealist. How come I couldn't see the evil?
Don't beat yourself up. And if you ever get that crystal ball working, give me a heads up, because I'd love to know how this all plays out.
Right.
You still think about what happened to your dad?
Haunts me more like.
And it looks like Jacob does not really want to talk about his father, so on that somewhat sour note we'll end the conversation right here.
I should focus on getting these people out of here.
You bet. Let's get to it.
Now, also in this room we can find another log, this time from Jacob himself, who describes the process of getting this outpost ready for the refugees, and we also learn that it is far from fully operational. On the way out, we also pass by another medical station as well as an armor upgrade, and with that we are ready to continue the tour.
I'm not willing to die to save this data.
Let me. I'll purge it and meet you at the shuttle bay.
I don't want to die.
Go! Just go.
No, I'm okay. Let's just do this.
So we can see that the looming threat is not easy for the people here, and in addition to that, this datapad here reveals that the scientists were also trying to find out what their research projects were used for, an endeavor that certainly holds a few nasty surprises in store.
Some kind of poison. Tailored to Turians.
And that poison could be useful for a quest we recently obtained on the Citadel.
I thought we covered our bases. There's a war on... What does he want with us? Why does he care?
Who knows? He's crazy. You can't plan for crazy. Told you that we should have gone to Sanctuary.
Look, let's just focus on getting out of here alive.
Alright, and with another weapon upgrade collected, we can now leave the area.
These people had no plan beyond hiding. They didn't stand a chance.
These civilians had no hope of coming out of this alive.
On our way out, we can find the M6 Carnifex pistol on the side here, but without attachments it won't be able to unfold its full potential, so we'll stick to our SMG for now.
Heads up.
And we have more enemies ahead of us here, and we just need to wait until Cadence Overload is back from cooldown. For some reason it always resets for me after the loading screen between these areas. In any case, the first group between us and the satellite tower is not too difficult to take out. Our priority is definitely to disable their shields and the corresponding generator, and once that is taken care of, Singularity and fire explosions should be enough to deal with the rest. You can also see here that our SMG is not too terrible over this distance. The scope certainly helps in that regard, but as long as we are not too far away from our enemies, the fast firing rate makes up for most of the weapon's spread.
Have to find the satellite tower.
And surprise, surprise, that tower is right ahead of us. As soon as we engage the engineer working on the tower's interface, we trigger another wave of Cerberus reinforcements, which quickly make this a pretty densely packed area. Still, we shouldn't lose our focus and want to make sure to grab the SMG high-caliber barrel by the crates here, so that we don't have to remember it on the way out. Our enemies, meanwhile, consist of only troopers and centurions, so the usual approach with Singularity and Overload works just fine. Since enemies drop in both on the left and the right side, it can at times be a bit tricky keeping both groups under control, but eventually we take them all out and can help ourselves to more credits and a medical kit in the corner before we interact with the satellite dish.
Jacob, dish should be back online now.
Affirmative, but the guns are still down. You'll need to manually activate them. Head back to the front of the facility.
More enemies in our path.
And there we go, now we need to cross a bit of open ground to activate the facility's anti-air guns, and of course Cerberus will try their best to stop us.
Shepard, shuttles overhead.
Get them before they hit the ground. Commander, trooper on the gun.
Gotta get him off that gun! Move up! Keep low and find cover!
Okay, so lots of talking during these first moments of the fight, but here are the important details. As you can see, Cerberus is quickly dropping in more and more reinforcements, but that we can mostly deal with thanks to Caden's tip of not letting them touch the ground, something that we can in fact easily achieve with a well-timed Singularity. A little bit more problematic is the fact that one of the troopers has taken command of a mounted turret, and if we have learned one thing, then that is the fact that turrets in this game need to be respected. There is, however, an easy way to get them off the gun if we simply place a Singularity in the vicinity, as that sends them flying and allows us to move forward. This is definitely a tricky part of the mission though, as the enemies are quite numerous, the terrain is rather open, and the guy behind the gun is not easily noticeable, at least not until the gun starts firing. Still, in the end, we managed to clear the section without injuries and can now take out the last stragglers.
We have to get up there and activate those AA guns manually.
And after Shepard clearly lays out what we need to do next, we try our best to record another melee kill here, and eventually also succeed. Very importantly, there is an easy-to-miss weapon upgrade in the back behind these containers, and we definitely do not want to miss it, especially since we won't be coming back here after climbing up the ladder. Speaking of which, there are actually 2 ladders, one on each side, but only one is fully extended and can be climbed, so let's take that to get upstairs and to manually activate the first gun.
The other gun is still down. Let's get over there.
And the way over to the other side is clear. Right in front of it we can find a datapad and a medkit, and that also gets us to level 52 before we interact with the second gun control.
Failure at junction. Repair and reset.
Okay, one of us has to make these repairs.
And once again, we will go with Kaidan as the repair guy here. Also, once again though, this is a choice with relatively little consequences.
Kaidan, you do the repairs.
Yes, sir.
Stay focused, Liara. Just you and me.
You bet, Shepard.
Alright, and this is where the fun begins, as we can now use Cerberus' methods against them, mount the cannon here and just let loose. Honestly, this fight can be won even without any squad members whatsoever, as every enemy just crumbles after a few hits, no matter if they're shielded or not. The only exception is perhaps the Phantom, able to dodge some of our shots, but even they don't last forever.
How are the repairs, Captain?
Working on it!
And so this fight is basically just a shooting gallery that even on Insanity difficulty does not offer too much of a challenge. Again, the Phantoms can be a bit annoying depending on how many of them the game throws at you. That can be a bit random, I have found, but other than that, the rest of the enemies should usually not get off any shots at all. Liara, by the way, is using her singularity here without being prompted to do so. You can see that our hotkey bar at the top left of the screen is not present for this fight, but honestly, even without her assistance, we still have the upper hand here. Case in point, as Liara goes down, we are still firmly in control, and in just a few moments, the last enemies here will be defeated and the guns will be online.
All done, just need to bring the guns back online.
Gotcha, I'm on it.
Power restored. Circuit reset. Guns operational. Shepard, AA guns are back online.
Copy that. Let's get these people out of here. Okay, the guns are already picking Cerberus ships out of the sky. Where are we at?
On track. First shuttle is already loaded with everyone under 16.
Commander, when should we leave? What's our best chance for survival?
Jacob, what do you think? Are we ready?
Almost. We could go now. There's no do-overs here.
Agreed. We get one shot.
And we don't want to leave anything behind that could strengthen the Illusive Man's cause. Your call.
And the game makes it sound like this decision might have an effect on the outcome of the mission, but it's really just an opportunity for us to grab the remaining loot we haven't collected yet, and since we have cleared out everything already, we can evacuate immediately.
Alright, let's get these shuttles in the air.
Evacuation is go. Evacuation is go. Stand by for shuttle launch.
Have the guns punch a hole in the perimeter, then launch Shuttle 1.
Shuttle 1 is away.
Alright, everyone here head to the shuttle bay and...
Suicide fighter took out one of the guns. Cerberus troops are...
Get those people out of here!
Alright, looks like Cerberus is launching one final assault on the base directly. Time to clear them out and make sure the scientists can escape.
Shepard, shuttles are loaded. We need you at the landing area to make sure they get away. I'll meet you down there.
Let's go, people!
Clear the shuttle bay first so we can bring the door up, then get out to the landing pad.
Well done.
And down here by the shuttle, we thankfully only meet another handful of enemies, who are quickly taken out as well. We can even use this opportunity to collect 1 or 2 more melee kills, although as you can see I should probably start practicing those a bit more in the future.
Jacob, bring up the main door.
Got it, Shepard.
Here we go. Okay, let's get these people out of here.
And here we go, back outside for the final assault. This is in fact the same area where we already came in, and once again it is crawling with Cerberus enemies. More and more reinforcements are also being dropped off by several Cerberus shuttles, and I think it's safe to say that we have quite the fight ahead of us here, at least until every single of our shuttles has made it out.
Cerberus shuttles taking positions on both sides!
Roger, on it!
Whenever we have killed a certain number of enemies, another shuttle will be able to fly off, and again Liara's ability to send enemies flying while they are still dropping in is certainly useful.
Jacob, come in. What's your status?
Shepard, the facility's overrun. Cerberus troops are all over the place.
One more shuttle of refugees to go, right?
Affirmative.
We got this. Just need to hold them a little longer.
And now we also have a Cerberus Phantom arrive on the scene. There may have been one earlier as well, but of course this is an enemy that we want to focus on. Thankfully, Cadence Overload also works against barriers, and the Phantom can't dodge all of our attacks, so as long as there's only one, Phantoms shouldn't be too much of a concern. And here we are, the area seems clear for now. Let's see if that third and final shuttle can get away safely.
Shuttle 3 away. Evacuation complete.
That was the last of the civilians.
Shepard, heads up! The place is overrun. We gotta go. Headed to you with the shuttle.
Understood.
Commander, we got company! Big company!
Jacob, hang tight. We'll clear you a landing zone.
Alright, here we go again. It is time to defeat yet another heavy mech. An engineer has dropped down in the back behind the Atlas as well, but for now they are not important. Instead, we want to make sure to take out the big guy as quickly as possible. Now, with another enemy present on the map, getting the Hijacker achievement would theoretically be possible in this fight, but I have found that the engineer has a tendency to get themselves killed by our squad members rather quickly, and then it's the same situation as in the last mission. Additionally, taking out the pilot requires a bit more precision than our SMG can currently provide, and I don't really think we should base our weapon choice on a single enemy. Still, the number of missions involving an Atlas mech is not getting any larger, so we want to keep the achievement in mind as we progress.
Jacob, landing area cleared.
This place is crawling. Bringing the shuttle to you.
Roger that.
Tango, Delta squads are underground. Take down Shepard!
Shepard!
Commander!
Reinforcements arriving, sir! Okay, let's go.
Out by the skin of our teeth again, hey, Shepard?
Nice to see you back in action.
Yeah, feels good.
I was afraid we wouldn't get anyone out alive. But because of you, we got almost everyone. Thank you.
Dr. Cole, I have a request. One you can't afford to turn down. I need your help against the Reapers.
Without a doubt. I'm at your service. And I'm sure you can count on the others as well.
You too, Jacob. I need you.
Of course, but I wouldn't mind staying with these folks.
You don't want to join the team on the Normandy?
I'm torn, Shepard, but looking out for these families is important to me. It's where I'm at right now. I hope you can see that.
And we can grab 2 final Paragon points here by showing ourselves sympathetic to Jacob's situation. I think he has earned the right to settle down.
Keep him safe then. The Alliance needs that crucible.
You got it.
All right. Report to Admiral Hackett for your assignment.
You know, Commander, I've never met anyone like you. Just feel better knowing you're on our side.
Thanks.
Shepard, when this mess is over, drinks are on me. Be safe out there.
Hackett here.
I'm sending you a large team of scientists.
I have the dossier.
They're all Cerberus defectors. Keep them safe.
Will do, and I'll put them straight to work on the Crucible.
Jacob Taylor is with them and is already working to find a place for the families.
He'll be a valuable asset as well. Snagging Dr. Cole from the Elusive Man is a coup. Having her on our side could be a huge win for us.
The sooner we can get the Crucible finished, the better I'll feel.
I'm with you.
Shepard out.
And there we are, another mission completed, and we have just unlocked the Problem Solver achievement. At this point, we could now wrap things up, but there are a small handful of conversations to explore that more or less directly relate to this mission, and I think it makes some sense to listen to those before we make the cut.
Cerberus seemed popular for a while. They were fighting the Collectors while the Council sat and watched.
And now they're killing civilians and attacking our allies. Commander, Kaidan was looking for you. I believe he's in the crew quarters. The Cerberus scientists are safe with the Alliance. The Brass thinks they'll be a big help on the Crucible.
First Grissom Academy, now this. Nice work.
You know how fighter pilots put those little stamp things under their cockpits for each kill? I'm thinking of getting one by the galaxy map every time I analyze the crap out of some data.
You're turning into a regular Marine.
Yes, well, I guess you're rubbing off on me.
Nice work.
Thanks, Commander. It feels good to bring someone out alive.
And that is certainly true and raises the mood a bit, a trend that will likely continue as we head for the bridge and towards Joker and EDI.
Cerberus is gonna have a hard time recruiting now. How's Jacob?
He'll be okay.
Glad to hear it. Nice to see those Cerberus scientists come to their senses.
After everything he's done, the Elusive Man can't pretend he's fighting for humanity. Anyone who isn't indoctrinated has to see that by now.
Glad we got out early.
What's on your mind, EDI?
Liara recently requested assistance in calculating whether the mass effect is a phenomenon that occurs only in our universe, or in all possible universes. It may be that our laws of physics only occur in a finite area, a bubble, if you will, in an ocean of other possibilities. I am speculating whether, if you went far enough out, or created enough energy, you could reach a place where 1 + 1 = 3. Everything would change. All energy, all matter, all the underlying math of the universe would be unrecognizable to us. Why? What were you thinking?
I'll get back to you on that.
Alright, seems like the two of them are keeping themselves occupied, so it is time for us to head for the elevator next and have that chat with Kaidan.
Garrus mentioned something about you two having some fun next time you're on the Citadel. Don't get into trouble.
Traynor is referring to Garrus's message from earlier here, but again, before we have some fun on the Citadel, let's see if Kaidan has perhaps changed his mind about the people working for Cerberus.
Hey, what's going on? You got a minute?
Sure, Kaidan. What's up?
You know, I've just been sitting here thinking.
Uh-oh. Okay, hit me with it.
So those Cerberus scientists, they were good people.
What do you mean?
I mean, Dr. Cole and her team, they seemed like good people. Knowing that, what do we do? I mean, what if there are more like them trapped inside Cerberus struggling to get out?
Tell me what you think we should do.
I don't know, Shepard. These are the hard calls. I mean, the decision to sacrifice the one for the many, the choice to leave someone behind till you're in that moment. So, yeah, you know, I don't know.
Unfortunately, we cannot obtain any morality points in this conversation, but we'll once again go with the Paragon option in spirit. So far, we have helped anyone who asked, and we don't plan on changing that.
Anyone that comes forward, like these people, we help, no matter what. That's the best we can do.
I know.
Sometimes the best we can do won't feel like enough, but it's all we've got.
So the scientists that put you back together, that saved your life, they were good people.
They were professionals. I didn't know them all.
And the Elusive Man?
Was he a good person?
Once? Ever?
Well, he gave me what I needed to stop the collectors.
Right, exactly. But so you never saw this coming from them? From him? Sorry. I'm not sure what I want you to say here. I guess I'm just looking for some sort of insight on the elusive man. Something.
And it is understandable that Kaidan is looking for an easy answer to a complex individual here, but sadly it does indeed seem like the elusive man remains just that, elusive and complicated.
Back then, he wanted the best for humanity, and he had resources to spare. But then it became humanity first, and at any cost. And that's a very different thing. But this? No. I never saw this coming from him.
Okay. Well, thanks, Shepard. I'm glad we could talk about this.
Meanwhile, you should find a way to take your mind off things.
I know. Joker did ask me to give him some poker tips. He keeps losing his shirt to James.
Good luck with that. Joker has a terrible poker face.
Great. Well, I like a challenge. Sierra.
You bet.
Hey, if you get a moment, we should head out to the Citadel for a snack. I know a place that, still has steak. I should get back to this report. I'll catch you later, Shepard.
Alright, a bit of character growth from Kaidan here, that is nice to see, as is the conversation between two of our squad members that we are about to run into next.
Are you sure you want to play this game?
What's the matter, Vicarian? You chicken?
I don't even know what that is, though I've heard everything in the galaxy tastes like it. But if you're suggesting I'm scared, game on, Vega.
Age before wisdom.
Okay. Back in my C-Sec days, I busted a Batarian spy ring that was trying to assassinate a counselor.
Please, I fought off a dozen angry Batarians on Omega single-handedly. Used one of them as a landing pad off a 3-story jump.
Just warming up, seeing what you had. Now, I tracked down this guy, Saren. Stopped him from raising a Geth army and unleashing the Reapers 3 years ago.
Doesn't count. You did that with Shepard.
You're right. I was with Shepard from the very beginning.
That just means you're old. Hey, Commander.
I'm glad Jacob saw through the elusive man. At least not everyone in Cerberus has lost their mind. This fight can use him. Don't mind us, just telling James here what it means to be a real soldier.
Now, this chat between the two of them will keep going, but first let's check in with Liara.
Have we heard from Agent DeTrace yet?
She has not reported in for over 8 hours, Doctor.
She was stationed on Valchir when the Reapers invaded. I think we can assume what happened. Inform Agent Calamus he's now in charge of reporting Reaper activity past the Loas relay.
Once again, not too much going on in here, unlike on the outside.
Still think you can win this, huh?
I can do this all day, Scars.
Funny you mention those. Ever hear the name Archangel?
I might have.
You know you have. I'm Archangel.
Maybe I heard something about that too.
Then maybe you also heard that for a couple months there, the crime rate on Omega mysteriously dropped while Archangel did a little house cleaning.
So you ran a cleaning service on Omega. Back on Fel Prime, I uncovered a pair of harvesters. Had to kill them by myself.
2 worm necks, that's almost impressive.
Oh, that's not even the best part. They left behind an egg. It hatched, and I trained it to let me fly it.
The Alliance teach you to make up crap like that, or did you figure it out all by yourself?
It's a gift.
And again, we can now head back into Liara's office.
There is new information on the private messages terminal.
And check in with exactly that terminal. On it, we can find a message from Jacob to his girlfriend, and it looks like the two of them are currently not working together. Let's hope that they can reconnect soon and that the whole Crucible project will in fact be a success. For now, though, let's listen in to part 3 of Garrus and James.
You've been through a lot, Scars.
You giving up?
Nah, I got more. Just don't like to talk about it.
Fair enough. We've all got one of those.
Just one, huh?
Yeah. Not every story has a happy ending.
Except there was this one time I teamed up with a Turian named Garrus Vicarian. He was pretty good with a gun, but he thought he was some kind of hotshot.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew this wise-ass Marine named Jimmy Vega. Sounds like a pole dancer on Omega. Always got on my nerves. But the kid was alright. Had guts when it counted.
And together they cured the genophage.
And stopped Cerberus from taking over the Citadel.
And finally kicked the Reapers from this galaxy and into the next.
With a little help from their friends.
Nah, it was just us. But mostly me.
And there we are, that is the end of their conversation. A lovely display of camaraderie between two squad mates who so far haven't really had any connection. And speaking of interesting connections, we will now explore another one of those as we stop for one last visit with Javik.
You and this human called Jacob were both part of Cerberus.
That is correct.
And Cerberus is filled with traitors to humanity.
Yes, they oppose us in this war.
Then why should we trust either of you?
We have severed our ties with the organization.
But you were programmed by Cerberus.
I can extrapolate where this is going. I have superseded my original programming and have chosen to oppose Cerberus.
You mean you have chosen to oppose your creators?
Correct.
I find this a very troubling freedom machine. That is all. Those humans you saved were fortunate. There are still places in the galaxy to hide. Our refugees perished. There was nowhere left to run. I trust you, Commander, when you say you no longer expedite Cerberus's goals. Otherwise...
And just for the sake of completion, we might as well get another one-liner from Diana Alice, but for the time being, don't expect anything too insightful.
Ugh, I'm falling down tired. I need a folding chair or something.
And there we are, another good hour of Mass Effect 3 lies behind us, and with 2 more missions completed, I think it is time to wrap things up. We have struck a nice blow to Cerberus's operations, and I think in the next episode we will finally travel to the Quarians, who have so far not really been involved. So stay tuned for that, and in the meantime, if you have enjoyed today's episode, then I would be very happy if you could leave a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing and want to support me and my channel further, then you can go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already, grab some merch over on shop.petecomplete.com, or check out and maybe even pledge to the Pete Complete Patreon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.